Hi, my name is Betsy Lavolette. I'm Associate Professor of English at Kyoto Sangyo University. Today I'm going to talk about my journey of identity, which I'm calling Reclaiming the Title of Call Expert. I had the great honor recently of giving a keynote at JALT Call 2021, and as I was preparing for that talk, I started reflecting on how my identity has changed, especially as a call expert over the past 4 years or so. If you're not familiar with the term call, it means computer-assisted language learning, but basically it's about using technology in language learning in general. So, in reflecting on that, I did talk a little bit about it at the beginning of that keynote, but I really wanted to explore it in more detail. So thank you for giving me that opportunity with this talk. The question that defines my struggle with my identity is this one: am I a call person? Over the past 4 years, my own answer to this question has changed quite a lot. But what I didn't really realize is that most likely everyone else who was looking at me from the outside would have answered this question with an emphatic yes, whatever my internal struggles were. Let me start with a little bit of background about me. My education in call began in 2006 when I became an MA student. In the very first class that I took, we were asked to choose an area of second language acquisition to study in detail. And on kind of a whim, I chose call, and I never looked back. My dissertation was also on a call topic. After I completed my PhD, my first job was as the director of a language center, and this is a job that traditionally involves computer lab management and assisting professors with technology and providing professional development on language and technology related topics. So because of these experiences, I have for a very long time considered myself a call expert. I enjoy working with technology, and I believe that using it in the classroom has significant benefits for student learning. However, after coming to Japan in 2018, I began to change the way that I was feeling. I was hired as an associate professor, and this is a very different job from that of language center director. I was no longer supporting my colleagues' language technology use with professional development. I was spending most of my time and energy just adjusting to the new teaching situation, the new living situation. And I was using classroom technology and the learning management system, which is Moodle, but I was no longer helping others to be using these tools, and just using them myself seemed like the same thing that everybody else was doing, so that didn't really make me a call person. Another reason that I think I was feeling this way is because I was no longer actively doing research on call as a topic. I was involved in language center research and increasingly involved in self-access language center research. But then the pandemic hit, and we all needed to shift to emergency remote teaching. And that's when I realized that my struggle with my identity was completely internal. My colleagues still saw me as a call expert and suddenly began calling upon me as an expert in technology, and they seemingly had no doubts at all about my identity. So this was a big reminder for me that I do have specialized skills to share. Certainly there are many language teachers who have technology skills and are great at applying these in the classroom and online teaching, but I think there are fewer who also have an interest and an ability to share these in terms of professional development and have a stable position from which they can reach out to other people who need these skills including English-speaking faculty and part-time faculty. So the dean of my faculty initially asked me to set up a single session to teach our English-speaking faculty how to use Zoom. And this was a great idea, but it was also not enough. I realized that we needed some more ongoing support. So I set up a team using Microsoft Teams that allows us to have asynchronous text chat as well as synchronous video chats to discuss issues related to pedagogy and technology, especially with online teaching and emergency remote teaching. And through this forum, I have also walked many teachers through setting up their Moodle course. This is our learning management system, and getting started with Zoom and other tools that they need. I'd like to stress that while technology is an important piece of this group, pedagogy is also equally important. We even held a mini conference in March, and I learned a lot from the experience and planning to do it again, hopefully bigger and better this summer. Going back to the activities on the group on Teams, I co-wrote an article with one of our more active members, Amelia Ichiri, and we published it in the FLT Mag, an online magazine for language and technology. This article was inspired by our experiences using Teams to collaborate, as well as other professional development experiences we had during the COVID pandemic. In our article, we placed Betsy's Tech Help Hours, the group on Teams, into the category of institutional professional development because it's just within this one institution. And clearly there are many other great initiatives out there, such as groups on Facebook where teachers can help each other. But I believe that it is useful to have this sort of support within your institution, not only because people at your own institution know which tools are supported and what the rules are, but also because when we help each other at our institution, we're saying that we support each other at this institution. We're all in this together. I think this kind of support is good for everyone's mental health, and I personally have gained a greater sense of belonging to this university through supporting other people on this group. The pandemic has also led to changes in student enrollments, and for the first time since I began in 2018, we have graduate students. And we have 2 graduate students, and they are both taking my call class. I am reminded that I actually do have a lot to contribute in terms of graduate education, and I think that I can be a good mentor to these students as their teacher, and if they should choose to pursue it, as their thesis advisor as well. Serving as a mentor to these students really helps me to regain that feeling of expertise in call and recognizing it as valuable. Having these opportunities to reclaim my feeling of expertise as a call expert has been very unexpected and also valuable. I've always enjoyed providing professional development and helping my colleagues, even back in the days of my MA, when I worked as an instructional designer in the College of Education at the University of Hawaii, and it's been a major part of my work since then. This newfound confidence in my abilities inspired me to self-nominate one of my Moodle courses to the Moodle Association of Japan Showcase, and to my surprise, I won a prize. And I never would have even created this course if it wasn't for the pandemic. For me, this has been a bit of a silver lining in the dark cloud of the pandemic. So for me, coming out of the pandemic has been a sense of confidence in my expertise in call, and I believe that I can improve learning not only for my own students, but for other students through providing professional development for my colleagues. I have been grateful that my colleagues show they appreciate my efforts, and I know that this reputation is kind of growing at my own institution because I've been asked to do professional development events for the university at large. This was a great opportunity to contribute what I think I do well with call and providing professional development, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive and encouraging. So this was very much a silver lining for me. Being asked to give a keynote for JALT Call 2021 was an additional affirmation that I am a call person. I am a call expert, and developing the keynote for that conference pushed me to think about and reflect on how my identity has changed. Although I think of my identity as my own, other people may not have seen my identity as changing at all during the time that I felt that it was in flux. Reflecting on these changes in my identity helped me to understand a couple of things. First, supporting others can be a means to find connectedness and community. Supporting my fellow faculty members online has made me feel much more a part of a community than I felt previously. Second, when our identities are in flux, other people may retain understandings of us that don't correspond to our internal views. This may seem obvious, but in my case, when I was feeling like a fraud, I was worried that other people saw me as a fraud as well. But happily, that was not the case. And I think that while other people's differing views of our identities can cause misunderstandings, they can also give us an opportunity to reclaim or reevaluate our understandings of ourselves. And in my case, it was the pandemic that gave me a chance to do so, along with the kind colleagues who trusted me and helped me to feel useful and competent again. Thank you very much for this opportunity to tell my story, and I hope that you found something useful in my experience. Please feel free to reach out with comments and questions. Thank you.